Hello, fabulous superstar Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of December 2018, looking at life and love. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an amazing month it is. And it really is what I'm calling the divine wrap-up, because we have big retrograde seasons coming to an end, mainly Venus retrograde season, also Mercury retrograde season. And as we get towards the very end of the month for New Year's Eve, Uranus will stand still in the sky. And as we start the new year, at the beginning of January, we'll go forward. And what that means is all major planets will be forward as we start a new year for the first 2 months of the new year. So this is a very powerful omen for this sense of new beginnings and moving forward and all kinds of new things coming into our way in our pursuit, but also in terms of the opportunities that we are attracting. So as much as there is this sense now of wrapping things up, that doesn't mean there aren't new things, because of course there are some new things playing out, mainly a new moon. Right around the 7th of the month, we are going to have a powerful new moon. Now this new moon will be hand in hand with Jupiter, and that magnifies its sense of luck and the possibility and this sense that anything is possible, which is part of the beauty of this new moon. However, this new moon will also be speaking with Neptune and Mars. It is this connection with Neptune and Mars that suggests some sense of heightened anticipation or expectation that may or may not be able to be met. There's also a sense of needing to push through, even if the evidence isn't there just right away, that it'll pay off. Of course, all effort pays off in the fullness of time. Nothing is ever wasted. This new moon is happening in a part of the sky for you that has to do with your day-to-day life. It has to do with the people who surround you every day, from your clients and your customers and your co-workers. The type of work you're doing is represented by this part of the sky, as is the little things that you do each and every day to take the best of care of you. Now, keep in mind, it is under this same sky just a day before that Mercury will go direct. So Mercury is essentially standing still in the sky, moving forward at this time. But Mercury will be in a different part of the sky very quickly to return to where this new moon is taking place. And as we move a little bit further into the month, just a few days before Christmas, we are going to have Mercury conjunct Jupiter in the part of the sky that this new moon is taking place. I mentioned this to you because there is some energy of confusion around this new moon. As much as there is hope and possibility and potential, which is great, and you want to nurture that, as much as there is this sense of what could be and what could be beginning again, at the same time, it is that Neptune connection, Mars heightening that Neptune connection, which does suggest that your way forward may not necessarily be so clear right away. And it also suggests that some of the information that you're getting might not necessarily be as clear in terms of new opportunities, but that clarity is going to come. It is possible right around the days of this new moon that a new opportunity, a work-related opportunity, does show up. It looks like on the one hand, there might be a lot of excitement around it. You might be feeling as if it aligns with what it is that you are truly passionate about. Now, of course, I'm all about encouraging you to honor your own karmic impulse, which means if something feels right for you to do, then you should do it, because it means on some level in your spirit, that's where your learning is. However, I do feel like there is that potential there for something really big or even better, or an even better agreement, a better contract to happen if you are able to pace yourself just a little bit. Even just that little bit of a week and a half between the new moon and the time that the energy of the conjunction, the meeting of Mercury and Jupiter, that little bit of time can really go a long way between having an agreement that you look back on and you go, okay, that was what was really going on there, or having an agreement and signing a contract, a work-related agreement that really does feel like it has that potential to open up all kinds of future doors for you as well. So if it's possible to wait, that's great. But whatever it is that does transpire right around the days of the new moon, understand it as a beginning and especially those beginnings where you have some mixed feelings around them, I think that those are going to be especially promising, because it's almost as if your first impression, that little bit of doubt in the beginning, will soon give way to a recognition of the great possibilities that are here. But just, if you can, allow yourself that little bit of time before you get to opportunity and realization and celebration. That little bit of time would be something that you're probably going to be grateful for. As we move towards the later part of the month, we are going to have a full moon just 2 weeks later. Right around the 22nd of the month is when this full moon takes place. And this is a very important full moon for you because it is in your sign. Now, the thing about it is that this full moon is essentially what astrologers call unaspected, which means that it is not having any significant connections with other power players in the sky. However, along with a full moon that represents fruition and culmination, and it represents emotional honesty, especially when it's in your sign. Because it is at the very beginning of your sign, it also represents a time when you are in some way embarking on a beginning of your own. This full moon is a deeply personal one for you. It is one that represents being bravely honest with yourself and knowing that that is more than enough. This isn't necessarily about confessing anything to anybody else or needing to work through something with another person or in a given situation. It is about you being more honest about the truth of what you feel and being more honest about what works for you and what doesn't. It's the perfect time for this to be taking place because in many ways it is. From a foundation of honesty that you are preparing for a bright and bold year ahead where there are going to be many significant changes that take place for you as a result of a series of eclipses that are going to happen in your sign over the course of 2019. Now, I of course will talk about that as we go along, and suffice it to say, it is this full moon that in many ways sets the stage for you to begin with that sense of clarity, to begin with that sense of emotional honesty, so that from there, all kinds of changes rooted in the truth of who you are can take place. Now, when it comes to matters of love, the full moon may play out in the context of love. After all, full moons essentially are the sun in your opposite sign, standing across the moon. And so it can be sometimes with full moons that it is other people who help us to contemplate the truth of ourselves that much more deeply. However, where it comes to love, we've got other things happening as well. Part of which is that Mercury changing directions right around the new moon early in the month. And Mercury at that point will be in a part of the sky that has to do with flirtation and romance and getting more clear about what you really want. And of course, the other big news is the end of Venus retrograde season. Venus will finish shadow, will be out of shadow right around the 18th of the month. It is going to be over the course of this month with Venus in this flirtatious part of your sky that you are going to notice a lot of very fortunate and grounding and a sense of completion events take place that will help you to not only appreciate the love that has been there for you, the love that is there for you now, but to be more open to an amazing year of love coming up for you ahead. For those of you who are open to meeting someone new, there are a few days here that you really want to be mindful of. It is going to be right around the 2nd of the month that Venus will now direct, move back into this very flirtatious part of your sky. And right in the middle of the month, just before she leaves shadow, we'll reach out and speak in harmony with Saturn, as she has been dancing with Saturn since September. This is going to be a full circle moment, and this is going to be a moment where you realize what the last few months have been meant to teach you about what your heart really wants in every area of life. Not just romantically, romance is going to be one part of it, but in every area of life, what do you need to feel more in love with your life? Well, it is in the middle of the month that you are taking some tangible steps towards it. However, that full moon is a powerful one, and chances are there's going to be some attraction at that time that stirs you on an emotional level. For those of you who are just getting to know somebody, so you're either dating, just getting to know somebody, especially if this is a person who's in some way been in or around your life since September, well, this is going to be a very important month of helping you to understand if this person actually feels like a heart-related connection or not. And if not, then you're going to make some decision in the middle of the month. If it is, this will solidify the bond going forward. And if you are someone who's in an established bond, I feel like the middle of the month is going to be a very important time frame for you and your established bond. In some way, there's a deepening of commitment and understanding and acceptance of each other. And that in turn, as we move towards the full moon in your sign, will allow you to focus that much more on yourself and being more honest about the emotional needs you have, maybe outside of your partnership, and being more deeply committed to meeting them. What I love about this month for you is, well, look, it's big. There's a lot going on this month. Big celestial events, and really on the precipice of big changes. And on the precipice of knowing that on some level, energetically even, you can feel that you are ready to begin again in a new year. The full moon is going to help you to bring to the surface an understanding of what stays and what doesn't, and bring to the surface an understanding of what you truly need to be happy and to be at peace with yourself. And with that honesty, you root yourself in it, prepared for an exciting year ahead. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this every month by logging on to nadiyashah.com. Sign up to be one of my superstars. Superstars get expanded, exclusive video scopes every week, unlimited access to special horoscopes, and so much more. All of this in the superstar space. I look forward to meeting you there. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.